because society's still trapped in a survivalist consciousness. So,
right.
that's our work, and that's where we're at. And the concern, obviously, with the climate problem, amongst many other problems, is that we're not going to fully be able to cross that bridge, because the climate change issue is going to force us all back to that hardcore biological survivalist instinct.
Which is what's happening, which is also what's being promoted at the moment, even regardless, or for a large majority of our species, they are watching and seeing just crises right now. Like not even getting the opportunity to have a breath. I like how you described it in your book as well. It's like when you go through one layer and another layer through the bioenergetic work, you get to have another perspective, right? Once you've cleared some debris, as you call it.
You become a different person.
Right. So then at that different place, you can start to view different things and see from a different perspective and go, okay, I wasn't able to see that before, now I am. But if everyone's in this crises mentality, sort of blinkers on, oh my God, it's all over. How am I going to survive crises? Government's collapsing, climate, it's like nobody's stopping to breathe and go, what is the solution to this, as opposed to being in a reactive mode of, oh my God, fight or flight or freeze, right?
Well, and absolutely. And there are many solutions, which, and one of them is to disconnect from the unconscious media, which has now been presenting itself for a long time as a more conscious media, because they're exposing Trump. But actually, by paying so much attention to every word that moron says, they're actually, living in the heart of the unconscious media. I mean, to me, so much of what's happening is about the difference between living from an open or a closed heart. And a survivalist consciousness is a closed-hearted way of being. A crisis consciousness, we close our heart, we batten down the hatches, we do what we have to do to stay alive. It's a biological necessity. We have people to take care of, we have to take care of our partners, we have to take care of ourselves. So, it's not to disparage that tendency in all of us, but what we need to do is we need to go deeper into our heart, clear the emotional debris. So in those Lowen sections I wrote about when I worked with the bioenergetic co-founder, Alexander Lowen, he would take me over his breathing stool and force me to sort of push air into my lungs. And all of a sudden I would have access to all kinds of old pain and memories and childhood traumas and anger, that all kinds of feelings that in my waking habitual survivalist consciousness, I had no awareness of, because my breathing was shallow. And when you shallow breathe, you don't remember everything, because you're holding it and you have to expand the lungs and expand the container, and then the feelings, memories emerge. After the experiences with him, I would release and move my material and tantrum, and he had a whole trip that you went on with him. At the end of it, I would feel like a different human. My perspective on everything that I felt before the session had shifted or changed, or many meaningful things had shifted and changed. And so if you watch Trumpian rallies and you see all of these closed-hearted survivalists, they're coming very honestly from a survivalist, it's a toxified version of it, but they're coming from a survivalist consciousness. They are truly a reflection of where humans have been in many ways. And progressives don't understand that we stand on the shoulders of those regressives in many ways, because they closed their hearts and built the railroads and built a world that we stand upon. I mean, we really are all connected. And it's a horrifying thing to accept that those people may have actually served a purpose in the lineage of my life, but they have, The problem is they don't know what it's like to experience life with their hearts open, because of the world they inhabit, their subcultures, the whole way it is. It's organized around toughness and surviving by the survival of the fittest. So the real people say, what can we do to get a Trumpian to come over and understand a progressive consciousness? Well, you've got to find some technique. You got to bring him to a bioenergetic class. You got to find some tricky way to get him to have an experience of the heart opening. Because once the heart opens, you realize you are all connected.
Exactly.
With your heart closed, all you're thinking about is yourself and protecting your people.
Right.